Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video with AEW on the road to Blood and Guts. You join us for you guys, which would be early October. Well, I'm sitting here in blistering sunshine, getting a bit of an urge to play some TEW, so yeah, we're sweating out here, but we are, as I say, quite happy with the proposed card that I've put together for Blood and Guts. And I'm hoping over the course of these next couple of episodes we can really tell some stories and have a really solid show. So without further ado, we'll crack on with our version of Dark, of course, our pre-show matches, and then Dynamite itself. Let's do it. So in Stockton, California this week, we've managed to get 14,227 fans. That's pretty decent. I'll take that. So the pre-show matches, we had Gianna Daddio defeat Camille in 7:48 with a reverse roundhouse kick. 46, both ladies pretty level in terms of their in-ring performance. We had a matchup between Ricky Starks and Joey Janela with absolute Ricky Starks picking up the win in 9:17 with a Buster Keaton. A 64 here. Pretty good stuff from these athletes. We then saw Austin Creed pick up the victory over Kip Sabian in 9:24 with a TKO, a pretty respectable 60. Very happy with that. We then had Will Hobbs defeat Trent Seven in 4:43 by pinfall. This guy had a 40. Trent Seven wasn't happy, even though I went to protect him, he was still furious. And I'm like, well mate, you're 40. It's probably time to let you go soon. And obviously the likes of Tyler Bate and that can go on their own, but we have to invest in the future as well for this to be a long-term save. So Will Hobbs picks up the win. Trent Seven not very happy. We then had a pre-show bout between El Fantasma and Eddie Dennis, with El Fantasma picking up the win in 7:38 with greetings from Camwood Park. Despite Eddie Dennis being off his game, these two put on a very stellar 64 rated matchup. And that led us to our main event of the pre-show. Prince Devitt scoring a victory over the Blade in 8:40 with the flying doubles foot stomp. A 71 here. Both guys having great chemistry together, which is nice to see. And in that instance it boosts Devitt's performance to a 93. But speaking of Prince Devitt, we actually start Dynamite with some in-ring action. Someone that confronted him is of course Pete Dunne. So we start off the way Dynamite's been starting a lot of times, straight into in-ring action. I had a good matchup that saw Pete Dunne defeat Johnny Gargano in 13:40 with the bitter end. 80, fantastic. Gargano with an 80 and Pete Dunne with a 75 rated performance. He's joined in the ring by of course the leader of the faction, which is Cody Rhodes, the New Age Horseman of course. So it's him, Pete Dunne, AJ Styles and Ace Austin, and they just say, we all know what's happening, Blood and Guts, it's the Blood and Guts match. Kenny Omega, Prince Devitt and Matt and Nick Jackson will never be the same again. And that's a typo in the actual angle pack because it's duplicated Prince Devitt rather than making that Nick Jackson. So it should be Nick Jackson, but that's just the way the angle is. So an 80 there, as we of course hype up that main event matchup for Blood and Guts. So pressure on those 8 individuals to deliver a stellar rating. We then had some women's action. It was a terrible matchup with non-existent crowd heat, but it shows how high basically the ratings need to be to get even more than terrible, because a 55 is terrible here would be pretty good elsewhere. But it's the tag champs Riho and Hikaru Shida defeating Odell Tai in 9:18 when Rio pinned B. Priestley with a Northern Light suplex. Solid 55, some good performances in there. Jamie Hayter being the weak link. Moving further on, we have a promo from Sir Brody Lee and Anna Jay. Again, they're just really saying, you know, there's not a duo, a tandem of man and woman that is good enough to take them on. But they're waiting to see if they will ever appear. And they're issuing a challenge for Blood and Guts if anyone wants to step up. They know that Andrade, Lidlo and Ashley have their own thing going on, but if anyone else wants to step up to the plate, they're more than welcome. Of course, the benefits of this kind of angle is Brody will always get fantastic promos, and Anna's just going to keep getting more over and over and over, which will make her a key player in our women's division down the line. But at 83, that's our best segment. So that's probably, that can only be kudos to the Brody Lee character. Moving along, more women's action. It was a poor matchup, a 66 rating. It says poor matchup, by the way. Kairi Hojo and Toni Storm defeat the team of Mercedes Varnado and Tay Conti in 8:05, and Kairi Hojo pinned Tay Conti with the spear. Tay's a weak link here, so this matchup was a case of obviously Kairi Hojo has earned the right to face Mercedes Varnado, and Tay Conti, I felt like it would give her some exposure here. Obviously the rest of Mercedes' faction is on the Lightning brand. So yeah, it was just a case of Kairi basically getting a win to obviously hype up that matchup. Whether that happens at Blood and Guts, whether that happens on a Dynamite, remains to be seen, but momentum certainly on Kairi Hojo's side for sure. They had a matchup that was decent, and that was seeing Jungle Boy, who defeated Garza Jr. in 10-28 by pinfall. A 65 here, a 69 for Jungle Boy, a 51 for Garza, and of course that's with Luchasaurus and Cali Perez in the respective corners. But Garza has always been saying, there's always going to be someone there to help him out, and it is his cousin who comes in and helps out the double team on Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus can't do anything, he's not medically cleared as much as he wants to. Garza debuts a luchador gimmick, which was poor, and he was underperforming here, but he is not the most over person in this mod, only like 39 over, so we need to work on that. But the beatdown on Jungle Boy from Garza Jr. and Umberto Garza, as he'll be known here, scores a 58. We then had a decent matchup that saw Miro defeat Shawn Spears in 7-18 by submission, a 71. Again, just continuing to build up Miro, both guys with great chemistry, and that showed in their performances, but he wins with game over. And then we have a segment that I was hoping would have done a bit better, but it's just Miro saying, "You've saw what I've done to this guy. Now I know you've got other guys in your posse," as you call it, of course being the Butcher and the Blade. But if I need to dismantle him, if I need to dismantle the Butcher, the Blade, then I'll do so to get my hands on Hangman Page and that TNT Championship. So 83 there for that segment. Then had an abysmal matchup that saw Fight Camp. Of course, that's Shayna Baszler's team of Daria Berinato and Layla Hirsch. So they pick up the win here in 7:06 over Fire and Flava with a modified Gogo Plata, causing a submission victory over Kiera Hogan. Just a 45 storytelling match of the night, and of course Kiera Hogan is working through an injury. I obviously need to build up Daria. Layla's at a pretty good level so far, but they're showing that they could be contenders in the women's tag team division. Then just hear a promo from them with Shayna Baszler in their corner, and they just say give it time, but they'll obviously avenge their leader Shayna Baszler, and they will take those tag title belts away from Riho and Hikaru Shida, which was a 46. We then had a matchup between Darby Allin and Marq Quen. It was about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Darby Allin picking up the win over Marq Quen in 7:49 with a coffin drop. A 72 here, 92 performance for Darby and a 56 from Marq Quen. That'll lead to something down the line, and we actually have no more angles. We go straight into a main event matchup. Taking a bit of a risk here. It's not someone that's the most over in the mod, but I feel like I don't necessarily need to worry so much now about growing the company. I feel we're at a fantastic level. There's not much I can do domestically. It all has to be internationally. So for me, it's about trying different things, seeing what combination work, and more so focusing on the wrestlers' overness rather than the company's overness. So your main event tonight is going to be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rey Fenix. And they deliver in 83, so pretty stellar. Obviously, yeah, Lucha Bros match, it's in the 90s, but I'm happy with that. I know I can always trust Rey Fenix to put on a sensational matchup. He's had a big amount of I'd say like big pressure matches where he's lost, so it's time to give him that win. About that had superb wrestling and great heat. Rey Fenix defeats Shinsuke Nakamura in 2041 with a Meteora. 83, 76 from Nakamura, 95 from Rey Fenix. I really just want to showcase that Naka can still go at main event level. Negatives: inconsistency of Nakamura, his declining physical ability as well. So the show itself, 82, increase their pop in 9 regions. So it's not what we're looking for. We're probably going to get pop in more regions, but as I say, it's just the ones that maybe that are quite lacking. You know, I think it's like some places in, I can't even remember, that like one part of like the UK or the British Isles in game, and a few other places. But I feel like, as you say, USA doesn't really matter, that's fine. Canada's fine. You're really focusing on like Sureste, Sewer. Well, UK's fine. You're focusing on Shikoku, and then the whole of Europe. Basically Europe, Oceania, and as I say, this show's not even broadcast in half of those places, I believe. It's the wrong one. So I'm going to jump in and out of this. So Dynamite, yes, so Dynamite's only broadcast in Asia, Mexico, and it's, you know, I mean, it's Lightning that's everywhere. So you'll more so get Lightning given as the, as I say, the exposure everywhere than you will this. So to get the 9 places gaining pop's good. So we'll take a wee look at all the notes here. So the show was, vast majority are happy with it. Good to see. Grado has won the ROH World Championship, World Television Championship. TK Orion wins the Pure. AEW heels, as I say, I'm just really booking women's matches. It's not, see, because it's not really it's a B show, it's not really affecting them too much. Heidi over Jamie Hayter, Abaddon over Lana Austin, Penelope Ford over Sadie Gibbs and Bayley, defeating Maria Maniac. Most of them just get hampered because they're not over enough, and it just says they don't want to see pre-show workers, but then again, it's a B show. You're going to be putting these people on that to get exposure, so maybe that's a flaw with the game. Hangman says Anna G has charisma, the kid has a lot of upside. Drug testing, 5k for Dynamite, 3k for AEW heels, and a 3.45 for Dynamite. So it's still quite a big way off what Lightning gets. But as soon as those kind of deals, as soon as that TNT deal's up in 4 months and 2 weeks, I'm just going to put everything on the network, and we'll just keep investing as much money as we can into the network. As I say, at the moment we're 14 million, so I can afford to go maybe about another couple million into the network at the start of next month. Yeah, that's where our money's basically going, but as I say, that will generate us big money down the line. So that's it for this episode of Dynamite. Hopefully you enjoyed it. As I say, we have a stacked card going forward into Blood and Guts, and hopefully you'll join us on the road to that. So cheers for watching. A wee thumbs up, appreciated. Let us know what you think of wrestling in general at the moment, and how your TW saves are going, any particular mods that stand out for you. And until next time, take it easy, and bye bye.